Welcome back. It was only a couple days ago I did this. Like I've been teasing from time to time, I will be releasing multiple episodes a week, here and there when I can. And this is one of those weeks when we can. So we have episode 67. I think that's how high we are. That's pretty good. With Nate from StreetWavve. StreetWavve is a podcast here it's based here in Kansas City. But and it's turning into like an umbrella of podcasts. Nate's kind of started a podcast network. So go follow him on social media. Go follow his podcast, StreetWavve, and it's WAVVE. There's two V's in it. Go follow him, check him out, and enjoy this episode and get to know him. He's a really cool dude. I really liked having this conversation. I want to stay in touch with him. And what was I gonna say? There's a problem with doing these live intros like this where I don't edit. What was I gonna say about Nate doing cool things? Oh yeah, he's just a dude that knows what's up. Got his finger on the pulse. So get educated here. Get your finger on the pulse with Nate StreetWavve meets Neandertalk podcast.
Welcome to the Neandertalk podcast. We'll no topic is off limits. Now here's your host, my daddy, and Voida Soul. Oh wait, one more thing for me. Thank you for coming to the Neandertalk podcast. Boom, swat, boom.
It's crazy, man, because, this is the first time for me being on a podcast. I'm not going to lie.
This is the first time as a guest on someone's?
Yeah. I have been, so my lady was telling me that, she was like, this is your first time being a guest. I've put so much energy and interviewing people, man. I just never think about myself.
Nice.
Never. So I appreciate this.
Yeah, I appreciate you coming on, man. This is real. This is I love getting other podcasters on here because they're the best people, because they know how to podcast.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? A lot of people. Well, let's kind of introduce who you are real quick to everybody. You're
Okay.
Nate from StreetWavve.
Yeah.
You want to kind of tell people what
StreetWavve's about?
What you do, what StreetWavve is like.
Yeah, so
why do I have you here?
right. Well, on a paying job, I work at the Kansas City Art Institute. I run the cafe there for the students, and then now what I do for podcasting is I run StreetWavve, which is a very specific about culture, about the community, about the creativity, the character that just makes the city come alive. And that's through creatives, whether it's in food, whether they paint, whatever. It's all that huge community. I mean, you could probably wash windows, but you do it in a crazy way, or you're passionate about it.
Right.
And I feel like I could get that story out to somebody that can relate. It's on, so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just found I don't even know how I stumbled upon your podcast. How would I have? I wonder how. I thought it was on YouTube. I think because don't you do some YouTube
yeah,
stuff?
we
sometimes you do a mobile, right? I think I saw a mobile podcast, you were at some I don't know. There was a public event, there was table, it was at a restaurant or something, or there was a show or something. I don't know.
Well, we do the sit downs, so
mean,
we haven't done one for a while.
Maybe it was a mobile one I saw.
The mobile one?
It was a mobile one.
Damn. I haven't been on the YouTube page. I'm going to be honest for a minute. I
Right,
haven't
right.
been on there. Just because we're trying to figure out videoing. And when I took on the podcasting, I wanted to really just wait until I was really secure with myself and with my voice and who I am before I get in front of a camera.
Yeah.
Just to have that confidence and have no doubt about what I'm doing. Repetition.
Okay. Yeah.
That's why this week I did 3 podcasts, because I'm just I'm honing in on shit, man. It's either now or never. It's my mentality.
How long have you been podcasting?
Shoot, man. So March of last year is when we started.
Okay.
So we've reached the year. We're about in a half, I
Okay.
think. Mark, year and a half.
Okay.
Yeah, March of last year. Yeah, I don't know.
How many episodes you got? So you got like an
Um,
umbrella. You were saying earlier that
yeah,
like an
yeah.
umbrella of
So-
podcasts.
Yeah, so we do the short series, which is like our weekly ones, which is like ranging from like 20 to 45 minutes now. And that's out and about. We immerse ourselves in the artist's realm. So we want to make them feel comfortable. And one thing I really studied before I started podcasting was like, how do you create a vibe without even knowing someone? Like right now, man. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah,
There's a
yeah.
vibe. It's great.
Right.
That's the challenge that I wanted, because I knew I was going to be sitting in people's rooms, coffee shops with people that I don't really know,
Right.
but I'm trying to get to know it as fast as I can in the moment, just like now, which is cool. And just like progressing from there. So that's short series. Then we have our StreetWavve, which is once a month. We might go to 2 a month. I don't know yet. We have a lot of those in the
How many
vault.
hosts do you have?
So Dom Chronicles is my co-host. We chop it up all the time. Great member. He's a local hip hop writer, producer, and performer. He's great.
Nice.
So I'm very, 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 what's the word? Just a pleasure to be around him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
cool.
it's a good time. And then we have She Says, which is the women's podcast, which I started in December of last year. I was the panel leader for 3 episodes, and then I left. And now it's 4 women that are very passionate about what they're doing. So they did a live podcast in July in front of an audience, which was cool. It's and then we're gonna add like maybe another show or 2 this fall.
You love podcasting, huh?
Yeah.
You said you were studying podcasts before you started.
No.
Okay.
Man, so crazy enough, I went to Manhattan Christian College, Manhattan, Kansas. Woo.
Okay.
Went and got into the church thing, worship leading, sang, guitar, all that stuff. And then I just found out that, it's not really profitable unless you have a full-time job with the church, which at the time was very difficult. So I started working at Toyota.
Okay.
Selling
cars or what?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, not selling cars. Sorry. That was actually a challenge for me. I became I was on the phone for a while, just got my foot in the door. That's what I call it. And then I became a porter, which was like,
Oh, that'd be fun.
which was like a mechanic's sidekick. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Okay.
that was dope. I drove all kinds of cars for days. And then I was a retail car manager, through the Toyota dealership.
Okay.
Yeah, man. And then podcasting, man, just came about. I started a blog, and I was like, man, I want to make a bigger impact. And I started watching YouTube, like video podcasting, and I was like, shit, I'm really intrigued by this. I think I can do this. And then we just went for one, and it just started the ball, man.
What what kind of videos were you watching to kind of inspire you to start it? Like, was there any are there any podcasts?
Yeah,
or podcasters that you were like
the
that you guys-
drama. He was Rob Diedrich's homie on the show. I don't know if you ever saw it on MTV, but Drama has a podcast
Okay.
where it's just like 2 chairs, mics, very comfortable against a wall, and then his show's in neon. And I watched a few, and then I went to, I'm not gonna get this guy's name right, but he works for Apple Beats. He's an English dude with narrow glasses, kind of bald.
Okay.
He also just interviews all these huge people, and so he did an interview with Kendrick Lamar, and it was like an hour and a half, and it was unreal, and I was just blown away. I was like, I think I want to do this. So
Were you just Googling podcasts and whatever ones came up, or were you
no, man, really enough, how I got onto Anchor was another guy that wasn't podcasting, but he just came across it and was like, I think you should check this out, and got it ball rolling in that. And it was really, man, it was the timing of everything. It just made sense, and I just went with it. I mean, as man, every interview I get nervous and, a little scared, but
really?
yeah, I still do. But it's something that I'm all right, this is something I'm still should be pursuing.
What are your goals? Long do you have I'm sure you have some goals in mind on what you want to achieve with podcasting, huh?
Yeah.
You take this shit real serious, huh?
I do.
Nice.
I do.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome to find.
Yeah.
It is fun.
Yeah.
It's for me because I take it fairly seriously. I could
Fairly.
I could do a lot. I could do a lot. I kick myself in the ass for not doing more.
And you know what? What's crazy, man, is that I can relate that to 100%. There's so we didn't do a live event this month, and I'm okay with it. I had this feeling that someone was like, dude, just almost like a touch on the shoulder being like, man, you ain't, don't even trip on this. Like, you don't need to do another one. Because July was like, I put that show 100% of my effort in it, and it came out beautiful. But when I came back from Chicago, I was like, man, I'm fucking tired. So I just needed to get around the homies again and get this energy pumping, and then apply what I learned from Chicago even more, and then just get ready for the fall. So I'm not going to trip about doing anything huge this month. Just going to stay consistent.
Yeah. Stay focused on the podcast.
Yeah, because we ended, so there's another podcast, Onward and Upward, and that's about the new city development and like new retail, all this new shit that's going on in Kansas City, right? My homie Blake comes in and talks about it because he knows about Kansas City like the back of his hand. Like, I don't know anyone. You could name a place and be like, this address. He just tell you right off the get-go.
Cool.
So having him getting passionate about it, we just did the season ending yesterday. So that was 12 episodes. His first time doing podcasting. Really challenged him. But season 2, I even put out more challenges. I was like, yo, you're booking 5 episodes, and this is what you got to do. And like, I'm just letting you know, like, season 2 is not going to be easy now. Because now we got to like start getting guests on the show, doing this and that. And I'm going to challenge him. But again, I'm going to lighten up on my energy this time. I put a lot out.
What is what's your style of podcast? Like, what kind of guests are you guys usually looking for and having on?
That's a good question. Usually it's in the moment. Like if I meet someone and I'm like, this is a really good vibe. We're communicating great, great stories, passionate about what they're doing. It's a link. There's also been like messages through Instagram being like, hey, go check out this person and see. And usually I pursue that because that's like just a door opening for me. I'm like, either now or never. Let's go. So that's we've done a few over the phone, which is cool. That was different.
Yeah, I don't know. I've done a couple on like Google Hangouts, which is like Skype.
Right.
And that works out pretty good.
I need to.
It's not. I mean, it's better than the phone. I couldn't do a phone one. I don't. I prefer. Obviously, this is the best right here. Right across, one-on-one in a nice environment like this is perfect. But
oh yeah, I walked in here and I was like, cool.
Well, yeah, the Skype way is kind of cool too. But so you guys you've done some on the phone though.
Yeah. So we've released now 3 now. Yeah. I did a few in the early seasons. So we're in season 4 of the short series. Episode 5 comes out this Friday, or this next Friday, the 16th or the 17th or the 16th. This Friday. Anyway, whatever. Yeah.
Friday.
Anyway, yeah. So
it'll be out by this time this is posted.
That's awesome. But yeah, it's what was I getting to?
The host the podcast. Where you see like your goals and stuff for the podcasts.
Oh yeah, I know. I just hope it's like everyone's like, oh, StreetWavve, yeah, I know what that is. You know what I mean? Like a friend of mine that I interviewed in December really challenged me on like what's the impression you want to leave this city if you were to like 100 years down the way, you're not existent anymore. What's something that you'd want people to be, they'd be like, oh yeah, StreetWavve, and that's been really a challenge for me, and I really just hope consistent, admirable, strong community. That's all the things that we just really strive for.
You're born and raised Kansas City?
No, actually not. So Fort Myers, Florida. Lived there till I was like 9.
Okay.
I moved to Fort Scott, Kansas, which this has nothing to do with military shit.
Oh, okay.
Everyone, they're like, oh yeah, you're in the military. And then I was at the high school there, went to college, junior college, and then went to Manhattan, and then I came to Kansas City. But I've been here long enough and I know so many people now that this is my home.
Right.
So when people are like, "Where are you from?" I'm like, Kansas City, Missouri.
Yeah.
Not Kansas City, Kansas, but Kansas City, Missouri. Just
Sorry, Wyandotte.
right. Just because my brother most recently was like challenging me on that. He's like, "You're not from Kansas City." I was like, "Bro, do you think I'm going to tell everyone my long ass story
Right.
and explain this shit?"
Uh-huh.
Even when you go overseas, people are like, "Where are you from?" You don't go down that route at all. You just, well, here's a guess. So
Yeah, I got a similar. I'm not from around here. I got a similar thing bounced around to a bunch of places. It's just like, yeah, Kansas City is home.
yeah.
I
How
got-
long have you been here?
That's a hard one to answer. I graduated from Leavenworth, Kansas in '98. I was a military type thing.
Where are you?
And then moved to Kansas City around that, right after high school. And then stayed mostly here, like in the area. I lived in Wyandotte for a while. And then,
Hey, I'm not hating on Wyandotte.
yeah, I love Wyandotte.
Best food and the best people.
I love Wyandotte.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Especially old school. This is old school Wyandotte before it got all bougie. This was before the racetrack was out there, man.
Woo.
But yeah, then I moved to Michigan, back to Michigan for a few years, and then back here. But I've spent more of my life here than anywhere else. It's home. Like, I love Kansas City, and I got kids now, and I'm raising them to be just straight up Kansas City. Took them to First Fridays last Friday, and then a couple months I took them to another First Fridays. I take them down. Just all over downtown all the time. They love going downtown. River Market.
Yeah.
Like all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like raising them to just love Kansas City.
Yeah.
Kansas City's great.
Yeah, the Crossroads is like one of my favorite spots.
Yeah, me too.
And then like Blip Coffee that's on like
God,
30th
everybody
and
keeps
Truce.
telling me about that. I gotta check that out.
Yeah, it's what I love about it. It's like they have busy times, but man, it's just like it's still on the DL. It seems, like it's not packed out like Messenger, like which I love them too.
I love Messenger, but yeah, you gotta go at the right times.
Because I look in the window, I'm like, a line, nope, ain't gonna happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you gotta go early. But that's when it's nice too. Especially in the summertime. It's nice to get that rooftop when it's nice and
Oh yeah.
not hot yet.
And their cold brew's fire.
I haven't had that. I've never had cold brew. And I'm a big coffee drinker, but I'm just
Hey, me too.
I'll have iced coffee, but I still haven't had cold brew. I
They're
look at it.
can.
I know they're in a can and they're
Yeah.
like, I don't know. They always seem expensive. And I'm like,
No, they are. They're like.
I'm like,
$5.
I was like, I like
$5.
regular coffee. I like regular hot coffee.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I don't know.
I try the hot coffee. I mean, I'm an avid drinker. I mean, because I run the cafe at the Art Institute, right? So make an Americano every morning. But we get back to that job in like a couple weeks. But right now, I'm just trying to stay busy.
Yeah.
But my goals, man, like back to that though a little bit is like for myself, I would love to like start understanding like funds and like grants and like sponsorships and like that's where my weakness is. But we're joining up with some really great people this fall to like start figuring that out. I would love to get out of what I'm doing at the Art Institute. Like, I don't give a fuck who is listening to this shit, but like, I know for a fact that that's not my life. And I made that very, 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 obvious and very straightforward to the new director of mine. I was like, I'm just letting you know, I've got 1 foot in, 1 foot out right now. Like, what I'm doing is much bigger than what I'm doing here. And he just looked at me and like, yeah, I'm just telling you real shit, man. Like, and that's also like where the podcast come in. It's like, it's really taught me to be, a better communicator, a better speaker.
Mm-hmm.
Also at the same time, a better leader. And that shit I do not take lightly, That's a big responsibility these days. But the goals, man, yeah. I want to figure that out. The sooner the better, but I think it's all in the timing. I'm not going to trip about it or anything. I'm going to stay focused.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now, what's the point of like this umbrella of like, how does this work out that you have like all these podcasts linked together? Like, what does that exactly mean? Like, you guys just are like some friends that all have your own podcast and you hang out and brainstorm together, or like what exactly does that entail?
No, that's a great question. That's crazy that you say that because I just met up with my shows the last week individually. I was going to get them all together and be like, all right, brainstorming all together, massive. And I was like, I don't think it's a good idea. I'm more personal one-on-one. So I got what she says. we sat down at the Crossroads Hotel, which I love that spot. Very chill.
I haven't been there yet.
Oh, it's fantastic,
All right.
man. It's so great. The bar area is great, and then the rooftop is beautiful as well. The drinks are really expensive, so be prepared for that. And I'm not bitching about that, but like,
Right.
it will wipe your wallet like
Okay.
real quick. But because they're really bougie, man, like boozy, like they're about this much.
Bougie
And-
booze.
Bougie booze, 100%.
I'm sure it is.
Yo,
I'll
yeah.
take some bougie booze.
Take some of that,
Maybe we can get them to sponsor our show.
right?
And
Yeah.
like we're not asking. I'm not asking for much. Crossroads Hotel. Just flip my bill every now and then.
Yeah, let me stay in your
Yeah.
hotel.
I'll
please.
pimp it on
I
the
need-
podcast all
Yeah.
the time. Like, well,
Yeah.
let's work. Well, we can work something out. You too.
It's
You
the move to
we'll get
make.
on this. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a really great place to just go like have a great chill time.
Mhm.
And you don't see everybody. Like if I go to Messenger, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna see 5 or 6 people that are gonna bother me, so I'm trying to find a place to hide so I can just meditate. What I mean by meditating is also like just working through my brain process of my flow for the next show or whatever I'm working on next. It's just for me to like get away and finally
Mhm.
get some silence in my life. So yeah, I met with She Says. We just talked about the new season, and they have all these huge things, and I'm really excited for them. And then yesterday I sat down with Blake from Onward and Upward, and like I said, we chopped it up about season 2 and what we were gonna apply. And then like for Dom and I, we meet twice or 3 times a week just to keep that connection alive. But working with him here's another word, honor, is an honor to work with him, just because I didn't know we were gonna work so well together, and not that I doubted it, but like he's busy as hell producing, making beats,
Yeah.
having people over to like put in onto new tracks and whatever, and like working on his new album. And so I allow him to I give him space. I'm like, dude, you're just doing this, I'm gonna stay adamant on that. And then when we come together, it's a beautiful picture, man, because it's like it doesn't seem there's any distance between us because we pick up after each other real quick.
That's awesome.
And finding that was incredible. So I don't know. I don't trip too much on that. I just know like when we meet up, it's like, yeah, we're just going to work on this and get ready for the new seasons and whatnot. We're changing some logos over, working on some new things, obviously, because it's the day and age of that, evolving, morphing, changing into a better picture as it progresses.
Do you guys have like a shared studio, or like how are you guys doing your recording? Like,
So crazy. At the cafe that I run at the Art Institute, we record on the weekends, and I have She Says we set up in there, and then we record in there, which is nice because I tell the security to like block off the area and
nice.
don't allow people in, and so we have that just for that time, which is a blessing. And then we just record from there. And then for everything else, man, we're on the move. We're out and about. Like we'll
just meet up with anybody wherever.
We'll pull up. We'll be like, well, we offer places, and like for instance, like let's meet up at a coffee shop. To have that ambiance with the podcasting, people really enjoy to be like, it's real.
Know that you're out there.
Yeah. StreetWavve.
I've thought about doing that. I've gone mobile once for, I think I did 6 episodes at a convention center.
Okay. Word.
Uh-huh.
No, I said word. Yeah. No. I
Yeah. Yeah. So I've thought about that. People like the ambiance.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that realism. It's that vulnerability. It's you're there.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to just use my phone, man, and I'd use that Anchor app to record through.
Really?
But about a month and a half ago, we got lapels, so that's changed on another game, which has been nice, especially for me, like being in Chicago when I met up with people I connected through Instagram and podcasted up there. And then the homies I met up there that live in Dallas, we did a couple of phone interviews through them.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what it's all about, man, is just meeting as many people as you can. Going to that ComplexCon just real quick was like a very like hype thing. So everyone's there for like sneakers, clothes and stuff. And I'm just there to like soak in the vibe, go to panels, check out discussions, and then meet people. The best linking going on there, man. Because that's like where the creative hub is. You have like these
ComplexCon?
Yeah, ComplexCon.
I never knew about it until I saw your Instagram stuff on it.
Yeah. Well, I missed one. So I went to one last November. That was my first one.
How often are they?
Well, they were one a year, but now they're gonna do 2 a year.
Okay.
They do original one in Long Beach, and then they're gonna start doing one in Chicago, which I was just at the one in Chicago for the first time just to see how it was, see the difference between that and Long Beach. And it was interesting. Chicago is incredible. I think next year is going to be bigger there. For the first one, it was just kind of like, here's what we are.
What did you guys do? What exactly is it?
So,
like, what kind of convention? Just
So it's a very cultural, like, related into like sneakers, the hype realm. I'm talking from like Supreme, to like,
okay.
But like Supreme's not there. Just like, I'm just saying people are wearing mad Supreme there because it's like part of the culture of streetwear. It's all streetwear pretty much.
Okay, I gotcha.
But then you have independent boutiques that show up, and they create this culture of like, they have like the Hennessy experience where like Hennessy sets up with another artist and they talk about things, or they do events, and like then they have like a stage for like where I saw like Schoolboy Q perform, and
nice,
huge performers.
I'd like to see him.
Yeah, it was interesting. It was really interesting because I think he wanted the crowd to be crazy, but we were all wearing like very expensive sneakers, and we were gonna fuck that shit up. And he was just like, "What's going on?"
Wow,
but funny. I respected it, and like it was cool to like, he's been on my list for a while, so to see him in like a small setting, I was like, "That's fire." I'm lucky to be here. But ComplexCon is like, it's for anyone that's into like the culture of like any hype things. Like, do you understand what I mean? Like, by hype, yeah. It's just a big community, man. So they decided to test the Midwest and do one in Chicago. They are located in New York, and then they do that one in LA, which LA is like pumping full of all kinds of things. In fact, they say the next one in a couple months is going to be a damn movie. Like, it's going to be out of control. But that's the vibe I love. You have to go in there like you own the fucking place, though. You have to do that. You have to like.
And do what? Like, what were you doing? Like, what was your first day at Complex? At the one in Chicago, what was that like? What did you do?
The one in Chicago I was ready for that. The first one in November of last year, I was like nervous. In fact, I left my phone in the Uber car getting out of that bitch. Shit. Yeah, so I had to like run up on a guy and just ask him kindly if I could use his phone to call, and made that happen and got my phone, got back in line. But for the first time, I didn't feel alone in a line. Like, if I was, I don't know, going to watch a movie by myself, no one really talks in line to buy the ticket. You know what I mean? Everyone's like to themselves. But there, everyone else is so friendly on like complimenting you on what you're wearing, or like where you're from and why are you here? What sneakers are you picking up? What drops are you gonna get? Who do you want to meet?
There's a whole world, a whole sneaker world, huh?
Yeah,
man.
Yeah,
I mean, I know there is. I'm just not. I wish I was in it. I just, I don't know. I had the bug for a minute, like I said, when the pumps first came out, before there was a Reebok pump, and when those first came out, man, dude, you want to talk about hype? You do not know the hype of elementary school and middle school, that time in history, sneaker history.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that was just the biggest thing. If you had the pumps, I had the pumps. I was like one of the first ones in school to have the pumps. And it was weird. Kids would come up to you and they'd get on their knees and pump them for you. It was insane. It was just like, you felt just like everybody would come up, oh, can I check them out? And everyone wanted to pump them. And everyone just like, you'd be waiting in line, and then people would be walking the other line, going the other way, and you could just be like, oh, Westa got them pumps.
Yeah. I mean, that's the same thing. That is the same mentality on like, from Kanye West's Yeezy shoes to the Off-Whites, Virgil Abloh that owns the Off-White company. It's like all these people that have done collaborations with modern sneakers and the resale of these shoes are out of control. I mean, that's what it is, and that's where the money's at. I mean, at the one in November, they had the Nike SB Diamonds. They're reselling right out the get-go for like $1,300 or more, depending on the size.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wow.
And that was at ComplexCon, and people were fighting over that.
Now, who's making these? Like, I mean, are
that's
these
Nike.
like?
That's
I know
Nike,
that's Nike, but that's not like a sweatshop shoe, right? There's
no.
Like, who's like? Is this like
no.
a certain?
I mean, I don't
designer
think so.
that's
Like,
hand plating it. Like, how much?
Nicky Diamond owns Diamond Co., which is like a streetwear skater brand.
Okay.
So he came
Dude,
out.
Look at me. I don't know shit about style.
No, it's
I can I hire you to just dress me one night, like make me look cool?
Maybe. We can talk about rates.
Like I don't. I mean, my game is just T-shirt and whatever.
Yeah. No, I feel that. No, that's what differentiates me from.
A lot of people,
a
lot of people have that. I wish I had it. I wish I knew how to look.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not
cool.
just about. It's just not about like looking cool. For me, it's about the story. It's about why did they create this brand? What does this brand even mean?
Mm-hmm.
What materials are they using? Is it 100% cotton? Is it 50-50? Whatever. I dive into that realm. It's not always. I'm not a first dimensional kid anymore. Like that's when I started with streetwear. I was like, whoa, Supreme, blah blah blah. But now I'm like, I hardly wear that shit. And now, like, I wear brands that
what do you wear?
Have a story.
Bounty.
Well, this is a collaboration with Wasted Youth, which is from Verdi, who I met at ComplexCon, which was an absolute honor to meet and just tell him like, hey man, I really appreciate what you do, building a community through apparel in Japan. And I had a Hypebeast magazine, and he was with his homie Pablo, and like they were taking away that I had the magazine on me, and I was like, will you please sign this? And he drew his character on there and signed it. And I was like, this is more. And I look at it every day since now. Dope. And I just go,
that's cool, man.
This is great, man. Like,
that's cool.
That's what he means to me. And so I was looking for him the second day, because I saw him the first day. I was like, all right, bet I'm going to see him again. And then I was like worried that I wasn't going to see him. And then lo and behold, man, ran into him. But that's what that community means to me. Is like Supreme people are like, oh yeah, this and that. And it's like, bro, I've seen in other countries, this creates a community. People will line up like days before to get an object from here, and they're all homies.
What is it about it that brings these people together? Like, how is he making a community out of his clothing? Like, how does anybody make?
It's the brand. It's also the story behind Supreme. Which was like skateboarding, and then it got into streetwear.
Okay.
And then it blew up.
So a lot of this is like kind of like apparel or companies that get into like niche product or like niche areas, and then just kind of they're like the pinnacle in that niche. And
then everything sells out. There's not a lot of things that are actually available. Literally, I'm saying, man, like in a 0.7 seconds, a stock of a hoodie can disappear. That's how. And it's not just, maybe it is for wear, but it's also for resale. People do that in the modern day too, man. It's like with vintage as well, but even like newer stuff like Supreme and all that stuff, the resale was big depending on what object you have. What garment do you have? Do you have the hoodie? It's crazy, man.
That's
but all
funny.
of a sudden,
that's so strange.
Yeah,
this is a weird commodity to trade in.
Yeah, I mean, you can go. I mean, what's crazy is that like thinking about trading is like you could go to ComplexCon and like probably trade shoes with people if it's that good. I mean, it's people's identity. And
I like crazy shoes. I've always been I've never been to that level because I've never really had the money where I'm like, I'm going to drop this much, as an adult. I'm like, I spend my money on other stuff.
I save up.
Yeah.
I save
up on other, like I'm a bow hunter.
Okay.
It's pretty expensive, especially at first. So like I say, I put my money in other things.
What's the biggest thing you've bow hunted?
Deer. Yeah.
Oh, I was hoping for something like.
Sorry, I have dreams of. I'd like to get an elk. I'd love to get a bear.
Whoa.
I'd love to get a bear with a bow. Oh, that'd be great.
Would you put him in here?
Oh yeah. Just like 100%. It depends on how big he was. I'd at least have a rug. I'd turn him into a rug.
No doubt. I want a zebra rug.
You could probably go to Texas and make that happen. They got zebras down there.
What's crazy is I've spent a lot of time in South Africa.
Wow.
Like being in like the safari there, the bush, and seeing like those hides on the side for sale and like the real shit. I've been wanting to like go back over there to get one. Not just to get one, but like Cape Town was like one of my favorite cities of all time.
I've heard cool things about Cape Town. What brought you to? Why did you go to South Africa?
Coffee.
For coffee?
Coffee.
Big time in the coffee game, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah. So coffee, everyone sees it as like a beverage, but I see it as a journey. Like
I'm fascinated by coffee.
It's taken me all over the world.
Fascinated by it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and it's been that's where I'm like at the cafe, and I've been I think 12 years in the game now, and I'm ready to like really just take a break. I mean, I love drinking coffee like we said.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like making coffee for certain people, the homies, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's just where it stopped. But Cape Town, man, the culture there is insane. It's insane. And everyone lives on this like really chill vibe. No one's really in a hurry to do anything, which
yeah?
can get annoying. Especially for
an
us.
American,
yes,
right?
Yeah, because we're like, not time,
go,
schedule, no, you know, and they're just like, man, tomorrow. I'm just like, no, we need to do this today.
Oh, I thought you, that would drive me nuts.
Yeah, they're just very, they're just chill the fuck out.
Why? Because it's just so perfect there? Like,
Yeah, I mean, when you go there, you see it, you're just like, this is why Hollywood shoots all through South Africa,
mm-hmm.
specifically, because you go to Durban, that's like tropical area. Johannesburg's really dry heat.
like pirates and stuff. The pirates movies and stuff are filmed, aren't they?
Right, which is crazy, because we were driving like in this, it was kind of almost like a meadow just out in the field, and then all of a sudden you see these pirate ships just like peeking over like corn stalks almost. And you're like, what the fuck? And yeah, they shoot that right outside of Cape Town, actually. Yeah. And then there's things going on like all the time, commercials being shot there. At the shop that I was working at, they were shooting a new series for BBC, and Daniel Radcliffe was like there, and we met like the producers came into the shop and directors. And
Daniel Radcliffe, that's a guy. That's not Harry Potter.
I think it is Harry Potter.
Oh, it is?
I don't know. I didn't want to get his name right. I don't want to be like, Harry showed up to the shop.
I'm thinking of the other nerdy kid then. Oh, what's the other one that was in that Quentin Tarantino thing with whatever. I'm having a major brain fart.
I'm trying to.
Sin City. That wasn't Quentin Tarantino, but he was in Sin City. I'm thinking of the Sin City nerd kid. He was like the psycho murderer. He got tied to the tree and chained. Whatever. I don't know.
Isn't that Frodo?
Yes. You know who I was talking about. I thought it was like
no.
Yes, Frodo.
I'm with you.
Who's Frodo? What's that dude's name? That's not Daniel Radcliffe?
No.
Okay. Elijah Wood.
Yeah.
Elijah something.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not much of a. I'm really surprised I got that right, because like Lord of the Rings isn't like the top of my list.
Wow. Look at that.
But I do know my fucking movies.
Yeah.
I don't go to theaters anymore, really, but I watch a shit ton of movies, man. Like all the time. Just because it's something that easy conversation, something to know. That's why I also
that's a good idea. I don't watch many movies.
It's just like it's another like, oh shit, you've seen that? Oh yeah,
something that can relate to almost
yep,
everybody with.
100%.
Except for me.
Same with books. I mean, I love
a good book.
I don't fucking read books like all the time, but I'm reading Bobby Hundred's new book, which Hundreds is like a brand also.
Okay.
I have it in my bag with me. I don't know why, but you just never know. You never know when you're going to be in that situation when
you might need a book.
But anyway, that book's really good. So, and I read before that, I read Logic's new book, which is like a novel.
He's got a book, huh?
Yeah.
Is this about his life or what?
No. It's like a non-fiction. Not fiction. Yeah.
It's fiction?
Yeah.
Really?
It's crazy. Yeah, it's like
That's
it's
cool.
a Quentin. Dude, you might like it because it's Quentin Tarantino inspired. Right, you can just read
Bobby Tarantino, right? Yeah.
Right off the get-go, you get that vibe where he's getting this from.
Okay.
And then some other influences. Then I read Gucci Mane's autobiography, which was good. That was great. Filled in the spaces. And then the subtitle Art of Not Giving a Fuck or whatever.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that one.
That was a good
one. We kind of skipped over kind of the guests you look for and are having. Like what kind of guests are you guys? Do you guys focus on, or is there a focus?
We don't really focus on. It's crazy because like people think like by numbers, like by followers, we're just gonna choose based on that. Like you need to have this much. I remember sitting down with
as far as what?
Like for instance, there was an artist that I interviewed that was surprised that I got back to them so quickly and that I wanted them on the show, just because I kind of felt like maybe they had less followers than usual or something. And we don't look at that at all. That's where I'm getting to. I don't give a fuck about that. What I do give a fuck about is if we're talking and I feel like I said, there's like this connection, or like this is a good story, and I feel like people can relate. Usually on the spot, we make it happen. We plan really quick on there. Like, I'll be like, all right, what day will work for you? Blah, blah, blah. Like, if we don't follow each other on Instagram, we'll make it happen. We'll follow each other and then connect through there, and then meet up and make it happen as fast. Like, I'm very adamant about that. I don't try to put people off on that. Like, we all have different things going on.
Right.
And like, I move quick on that. But yeah, I mean, the guests, they range from different people, man. Like, I couldn't tell you like a specific that we look for. It's just this gut feeling that either myself, Dom, or someone that's very close to us have, that think that it'll be a good podcast to have, or a good idea to have them on.
Yeah.
Okay, let me give it a try. Let me check them out. Let me follow them on Instagram. Do a little, background check, I guess, if you want, on them to see what they're really about.
For sure.
Before I pull the trigger.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. That's just how we book. But it is game momentum, man. It has been like, all of a sudden it's been like this and then that, and it just lines up all great for us, man.
Yeah.
Very privileged in that, definitely.
How are you promoting the podcasts and getting them out there? Like, are you promoting them? Like
yeah,
other than Instagram, like, what do you like? How do you put your shit out there?
Well, I mean, I'm guilty for this of not really updating our website right now, but that'll get under control here shortly. That'll be fixed and everything, so I'm not tripping on that. Man, really just word of mouth, the streets.
Yeah.
The streets, and people. The more people I meet that don't know what I'm about, I'm like, cool, this is my time to tell them.
Right.
I'm like, okay. So yeah, man, just really just always just running into people that's like, oh yeah, you don't know this guy? This guy runs StreetWavve. Oh yeah, cool. Like, oh, this is what I do. Cool. Like, what else do you do? What's your, like, we get into conversation.
Yeah.
Then next episode, like, that's just I call it the magic. Not in a weird way, but just in like a positive way. Like, it's magic, man. Like, it's really buzzing. Like, we're doing something.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
And you said you got shows out, so you book. Do you have like a certain day you guys will do your podcast? Like me, I try to do mine on Sundays. Do you do it? It's like whenever, huh?
Yeah, I try to stay away from Mondays. When I say that, I have one actually on Monday. But I really try to, because that's like really a resting day for me, just to get organized for the week. And that's also when I mix all the podcasts that are coming out. Yeah. We have 3 coming up this week, so it's like I got to get those all online and everything, but I'm not really worried about it. I'm down. You know this. Well, for me anyways, it's like I'm the only person that edits. No one else does it. So I can just fly through there. Right. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because I already have like the intro and outro tunes already for the podcast and for the new season. So those are labeled, and I just add them. I use GarageBand. Yeah, GarageBand is good. I don't have. They're like, what? People are like, what kind of mics and program and this and that? And I'm like, man, I try to stay down to the bare minimum. I'm not trying to like. When that money comes, when I've worked hard enough to be where I am, those things will be, yeah, I know what you mean, viable. Yeah, I know what you mean. There's so many things I'd like to improve. I'd like to get better mics, there's always little things you want to just improve upon. Like those Shure mics that are like 400. Yeah, those are the exact ones I was thinking of. Yep, along with mic stands. Yep, I'm right there. Every time I went to Guitar Center. Every time I went to Guitar Center to pick up, or to when I was renting equipment for our live podcasting, I just wander in there because that's where you check out all the rental equipment. It's like all the mics are behind you. I'm just like, whoa, I'm just staring at them, like, trying them out. Put on the headphones and talking through each one, and yeah, man, just manifesting. Being like, someday, I'm just not ready right now. Oh, like I don't mean like I'm not ready right now, but like it will happen. Like I'm not gonna trip about it. Everyone's like, I'm not putting pressure on me or anything, but like I feel like people are like trying to rush things right now. I'm really just trying to stay as patient And
It's hard, right?
it is.
It's so
It
hard.
is.
Patience. I battle with patience like a motherfucker.
Yeah. This podcasting have taught me a lot about patience.
Right. Right.
Yeah. Especially waiting on people that like show up a little late or, don't really communicate that shit and just like don't even show up. And then I put out my timer for 20 minutes. And if you don't show up, I'm gone. Like, I don't have time for that shit anymore.
Yeah. Have you had any bad experiences?
No, man. If there is something that ends up happening and like someone's like, I'm nervous, and like I'm like, all right, is there another day you would like to book? I'm not tripping over it. 'Cause I go, well, cool, I've got another podcast that I can just put in that space and record and just move things up around. I'm very, very structured and planned, and like everything is written down. The only thing that's typed obviously is put on Instagram, but I keep everything in a notebook, and like that's
I do the same thing.
Yeah,
I write everything down.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
I have to.
I do too. The same way.
And my flow, like my setup for that, and how I like write that out in a certain way, and different words that I highlight, and what I mean by this, and like, yeah, man, like it's something that I absolutely love. And then they can't be like the books that are like this. They got to go like that. I don't know. I feel like it's more raw and real, and like being like 100%, and like when I'm in that meditation mode of like writing down my flow, it's like I feel most connected organically to my questions, and they're gonna stick with me because I'm gonna read over it. I'm writing it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a method for me, for sure.
You come up with questions and stuff before your interviews and things?
Yeah. That's my flow is. That's what I mean by flow. I mean, I don't know what else to call it. FLOW.
Yeah.
Maybe not like a rap flow, but maybe. I just write down like the artist's name, what they do, what we're gonna talk about at the beginning, and then just like unravel in my questions. But then my arrows, and then like there's highlighted shit. I mean, it looks crazy by the time I'm gonna get done, but I understand it.
Do you have it with you when you're doing it?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
100%. Yep.
You didn't bring one with you today?
It's in my bag.
Yeah. Did you fill one out for me?
No.
No?
No. Because this is my first time being a guest.
Nice.
Yeah. I really want
What's it like?
It's really great.
Is it nice?
It's
a
nice.
little relaxing?
It is nice.
No stress?
No, not at all. And I feel like it's a privilege. So I appreciate it, man.
What kind of stress do you feel as a podcaster?
Stress?
Do you feel stress? Or
man, that's why I smoke weed.
Yeah.
I mean, to be real 100%, like no lie, like that is a plus for me. Like indica, like heavy ass strain, like I need something to soothe me out. And at the same time, I don't anymore, and I was just talking to a homie of mine, I don't rely on weed for my creative outlet. I've been able to differentiate that. And that wasn't me at the beginning. I'm talking like there's times I remember probably 4 or 5 months in, I was like, man, I need to smoke to be creative. And I had that stuck in my mind.
Yeah.
And until like, I think just I stopped smoking before I do podcasts.
Nice.
Like with people.
Yeah.
And like they asked me like, is it okay if I smoke or if I come high? I'm like, dude, come as yourself.
Rappers.
Be you. You do you, man. Yeah. I mean, it's funny because like some people I'm like, man, you don't smoke like weed, but they're like, yeah, I smoke like half my pen on the way. And I was like, damn, cool. This will be a great conversation, you know. And sometimes they can get kind of out of wacky because like they'll go out to left field. Sometimes like what we do, and come back and they'll be like, what was the question again?
Yeah. You gotta reel them back a little bit sometimes.
Right. And that's where the patience has helped me, man.
Yeah.
And the breathing and the relaxing of like, I'm not going to get bent on this because I have energy for this interview, but I do not have extra energy right now for to put out any more on that. And I really want it to go towards the conversation. 100%.
It's different. It's different being a podcaster, right? Is it everything you thought it would be? Is it as good as you thought it'd be? Is it something you want to keep doing this and get it bigger?
Yeah, I definitely do.
Do you think you can do that in Kansas City? Like, I'm wondering.
Yeah,
how big and I see all these. There's a lot of podcasts in Kansas City. I'm just surprised all the time at all these new ones that I come across. Yeah, right. And then I look at some other ones that were here that are here and gone, that were pretty big ones.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. I don't see. I don't know. I wonder what the kind of some of the longer lasting ones are around here.
I think it's been, for me, the reassurance by people I don't know and that I do know that come up to me and tell me and confirm and manifest to me and like speak over me, if you know, that kind of thing, of positivity, of being like, you are doing exactly what you should be doing, and you are great at what you do. And even though it's at that cheerleader mentality, it's something that reassures me that the Dom and I are going in the right path together. We stick together. And so that's been things for me to be like, okay, I'm not giving up yet. And not that I even thought about it. It's just like,
there's hard days.
It is. There are
some days, yeah.
And then that's the difference between, like, not the difference, but having a paid job and then doing podcasting. And I mean, on the, what is it? The advertisement you can do on Anchor, right? I don't know if you've done any of that.
No.
I tried one and I cut it off after an episode and I made like $1.74, and that's on my Anchor account. I'm like, cool, this is dope. I'll just have this here, and maybe this will be a reminder one day. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is where we were, this is where we are now. But yeah, it's just, I think, like, for me, it can get tiring if you allow it to be. If you allow it to. You know what I mean? And I've had to really focus on my energy, and I've really had to like give that
discipline.
100%.
To do this, a lot of people don't think I understand the discipline it takes to do this. Like a weekly show.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It takes. I mean, I'm solo. Like I got no help at all.
Yeah.
That's a lot of work just to constantly.
Yeah. Well.
Man.
And then that's like,
you know how it is.
Yeah. For the confusion of everything, it's been me. And I don't mean that in a selfish way at all. Not at all. I mean that in, if you really work your ass off and you really are committed and you really want to succeed in this day and age, it's an all or nothing mentality that you have to have. If you're ready for that, speak to me. You know? If you're not,
I don't
have fucking time for that.
Yeah.
And that's back to the guest, back to the guest question, you know, even that's the mentality, that's the characteristics that everyone that we've sat down with, whether it's just me or it's with Dom and I, they're all doing that. They're all doing that. Yeah.
Are you in the music scene, local music scene at all? Like, do you like follow any of that stuff? Or
yeah. I mean, Dom, my co-host,
right? Yeah, you're mentioning
he's a local hip hop. Yeah, and so like No Scope.
And you're talking about No Scope earlier. Yeah, that's right.
Which I support. All the homies that are out there doing that, and it's awesome to go to a show locally and see them perform and like
it's a lot
see
of
the
fun.
community that they're a part of, because
there's a fun little there's a small music community, like a bunch of these small music communities.
Yeah, and like the block party at First Fridays.
I haven't gone to that.
Like them having, you know, like a lineup of performers.
Tech Nine, right?
I don't think he was there.
No,
not
just like this.
These are all like local artists.
I thought this year he did something at the down there. Maybe I'm wrong.
Maybe he did it close to it. I didn't know about it. That was a crazy one. But I got home safe and, you know, whatever. But for me, that night was really cool because I got to like see again Dom perform and see him being passionate about what he does and how he works the crowd.
Oh, that's cool.
I admire him a lot because it's a lot of guts in this day and age, and even for me and you, to step up and do things that are like, so we do that live podcast show. I mean, the first one we were charging $6 at the door. You know, it's like those challenges we love, but they've also helped. Local music has helped mold and create paths for streetwave in ways that I can't really like describe or explain right now, but like it's been great, like connecting with all kinds of artists in the city.
Who are some artists that stick out that are I don't know, that you're fans of, or like what kind of artists musically?
locally?
Yeah, locally. Are you kind of
Locally? Well, Dom Chronicles, obviously. We've got Tilly, which is a homie of Dom and I's, and he just came out with the album most recently as well. No Scopes there. There's like in the back five, there's EJ, which is Kid Clever, who's also a local artist. Yeah, man, they all are like just working in the studios always, just trying to come up with something, trying to come up with that banger, and like I love that passion, and I love like seeing that and hearing
it's
how
huge
excited
in the city.
they are.
The city's just
Yeah.
You see these local rappers, they're hungry.
Yeah.
They're working hard.
I spent time with there's another artist, Huss West. He did his album release at the Riot Room like I don't know, 5 or 6 months ago. I got invited to, and we did an interview before, so we were outside a Riot Room just chopping it up, and like that was awesome.
Right.
Like, so those things, like, we're everywhere, man. Like, we never say no.
Yeah, so when you're saying you did a podcast show of charging 6 at the door, what do you mean? What was that?
Well, it's crazy. So backstory on that, 3 podcasts in, so when StreetWavve just began, Alex Goldberg came up to me. They own this venue called El Pozo, which is on like Summit Street, off of Southwest Boulevard, where all the great Mexican taco spots are. He was like, "Hey, would you like to do live podcast show, like, you know, like a Jimmy Fallon kind of thing, but like, you know, interviewing. You have the mics. It's a setup." And I was like, "Let me think about this." Went home and I was like, "If I don't do this, I'll never do this." You know what I mean? So episode 4, 5, 6, and 7 were live in front of people, like an actual like show.
Interesting.
So we came out and I'd like welcome everyone. We'd sit down, chop it up, and then before that though, we'd have a DJ playing music for the welcome. We had the vibe, we had drinks, we had food. We built kind of like an underground community going for that last summer. And the numbers were like increasing each month. And it was great because we're like, we're doing this. This is going somewhere. That's why that momentum in the last fall was just like, I need to do more than this. And then the show just started popping in my mind. And I was like, if I don't do it now, I'll never do it. So I just applied, started it. Got the wheels turning. You know what I'm saying? Because I knew there was more for me to do again. I was at this point where like, I guess I just couldn't do one a month. I need to do one a week. I need to do this. I need to get a female, you know, like an all-female show. You know, like all these things just started happening right and left for us. But yeah, man, like it's a commitment, you know.
You still do this show? That's what you're talking about when you do your show? That's what it means?
Oh, yeah. Sorry. The show, yeah.
The show,
sorry,
so...
fucking one drop.
Yeah, you're cool.
Yeah, the show. So we did a show all those 4 months, and then we came back this year, and we were at...
You were doing one of those a month?
Yeah. So June we had one, in July.
You got like $6 at the door for people to come. That's still. How did you promote it?
Well, the first one. So that's actually where like the promotion came in. We got small flyers, word of mouth, Instagram, Twitter, wherever, however we could tell people. We met with all kinds of people. Our first guests were Mark, and they do a food show, and so we had food, and then we had a performer during the middle, which was No Scope, crazy. And then we had a discussion too, where we sat down with tacos, and we had to like name where these tacos came from.
Cool.
But what's cool about that though, man, is that like as soon as we set food in front of these dudes, like you could just see them become comfortable.
Right.
And they were like, we just dug into conversations even more.
Okay.
So that was crazy.
Yeah.
And then July, well, this is what's crazy about July. We had a just kind of a goofy timing with things of like when we needed to be set up, because we're at Kobe Q, which is on Grand, really close to Messenger. So Messenger Coffee.
I just ate there last week.
Yeah, man, that's where we had the show.
I had a bibimbap.
Yeah.
And let me tell you something. I like Parlor. Parlor's dope.
Yeah.
Parlor's got a place in there that's that's got a bibimbap.
Yeah.
And it's Instagram worthy. Everyone's taking pictures saying how great it is.
Right.
It's good. That other place, what's it called?
Kobe Q.
Kobe Q. Their bibimbap blows stories out of the water.
I'm gonna have to have that. I usually get their like sweet and sour chicken kind of thing.
The only thing is they overcook the egg. But everything else was fire in that thing. It was still better.
Yeah, what's crazy about Sura is that we had him on in July, and we talked about Sura.
You had him on, the owner of it?
Yeah,
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Young. And he brought food on, and we talked about 3 different dishes that he has through Sura. And that was at the live one. That was last July. But this July, we had Edith Cruz. She does the high heel dancing women's classes. She's like full of amazing energy, full of just like amazing, a vibe. It's attractable but powerful at the same time. And I love that. So Dom and I sat down, and she taught us how to dance at the end of the segment. Which was crazy because here I am. I'm not that good. So there it is. And I tried. I was like, fuck this. And
there's
it
like
was
a
huge.
dude version of it?
Yeah, like she did this was like a booty song. So Dom and I were definitely challenged on this. But we did it.
Yeah.
We fucking did it. And then the She Says, the Females podcast had their first live premiere. So they chopped it up with Kylie from Vera Intimates, which is like women's lingerie and sex toys and other things.
Okay.
So they had a conversation on the second leg of the show, and so it was beautiful. And for me, putting that group together, seeing them up there, it was an emotional for me, man, because I put a lot of energy in that, and it just came back around full circle.
Nice.
And I couldn't be more happier for them, especially
Cool.
for this new season that's kicking off. They are very hungry for some shit, and I think it was good that we took a summer break. I think that was brilliant. Like they had different travels with their boyfriends or family or whatever, so it was a busy summer. And I didn't want to tie them down and being like, we need to meet this, that. So
are you concerned or worried or give thought to having these other podcasts underneath you, what their level of commitment is? And I'm not asking you to call anyone out, but is that like, as someone that's kind of like, I don't know, like holding the umbrella, if you will, do you have
that's a valid question. And in fact, I stated that at our meeting. I was like, I'm going to be honest, like doing this Instagram, it's going to have to be ran like this. And I don't want it to start like, fireworks and then just drop to the floor and not be, barely used. I was like, and I reminded them, like for me as a leader, is that I've got to think of questions like that, and I've got to be prepared for that. And so I ran through my discussion notes with them, or with myself, before I even sat down with them, and I was like, all right, this and that, and like taking what they wanted to do and just reminding them several times that like it's going to take this and that, and they're aware of it. These 4 women have been able to not just build confidence in themselves, but as each other and as a group. And like I feel as they're so team oriented, and it was so great to hear walking back to the car with one of them just like, man, I've missed being around these ladies, and like I can't wait for the new season and this. And I'm like, another sign.
Cool.
Another sign that this is something beautiful, But that's with everything, man. Like I've got to think of things like that. It's like same with like Onward and Upward. Sitting down with Blake, I was like, bro, if you don't fucking do this, we won't do this season.
Yeah, because if it's not your passion, it's gonna be like, it's gonna get too tedious and too much.
Yeah, and that's where I felt like with him, like getting 12 episodes, I was like, all right, maybe we've shot over the moon. You know what I mean? Maybe we did a little bit too much. But I think with us having a month and a half break for season 2, I think that'll be great for him. Yeah.
You've given me some things to think about. I've brought up the idea. Probably listeners right now are probably getting sick of me probably mentioning this now. But I've had the idea of putting on a show, getting some of the artists that I've had on, and doing like just putting on a hip hop show basically.
Yeah.
And charging whatever at the door. And I don't want any of the money. I just want a little bit of promotion, but just give all the artists money. But I don't, I'm worried that I wouldn't get enough people there to get. I don't know, but I've thought about doing something like that. I think that'd be a lot of fun to do.
It is a lot of fun. It's obviously
just,
a lot of time and energy,
Yeah.
and like even more than what I even wanted to put out. But I was okay because I even knew that was coming. Like I knew when it was like I was planning for what I was doing that summer. I'd say 6 months before. I really love to put things out in front of me and like goals and big podcasts out in front of me, just going, cool. By the time we get there, like this next event that's going to be in November that we're going to be working with, I'm already like, let's go.
Yeah.
Like my mind's already there. Like,
Yeah.
but that's a good thing, because if it wasn't important, it wouldn't be like that.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, I've thought of the idea of doing the little live shows, going somewhere and doing it mobile, not like charge $6 at the door. I don't hate that idea. That'd be kind of fun to do.
But let me just say though, the
If you get, like, a right
$6, yeah, 100%, and that's what it is. That's where it is. It's like, that's the challenge.
Ugh.
Also, like, when you see other things going on, like showcases and whatnot, for like 20 at the door and more, I kind of go, you know.
Oh, I would keep it cheap as fuck.
Yeah.
I'd be like $5.
Yeah. Okay, go down.
I know I'm not. Yeah. I'm gonna
I actually
undercut
went
you.
up $1.
I'm gonna undercut
up
you.
$1.
Nah, I'm gonna go down.
No, I feel that. And it's what's
Actually,
been
I'm
great
gonna. You know what? I'm gonna go. It's gonna be $4.20.
is see who has that change on them, bro.
Yeah.
That's that shit. It's like we tried Eventbrite as well for the first time. I thought the city would be ready for, and I think there is.
They're getting there.
It's
getting there. No, slowly.
We had our show on Thursdays just so we wouldn't clash with anybody. Because Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, bro.
Oh, yeah.
Going.
Oh no, the show would have to be.
And that's where the marketing, and with the also just the, I don't want to say just the setup. I'm trying to think of another word, but you can do it. You can do it. And that's what I would tell people, is like, that's what I'm saying, man, is like, if you want to do something like this, it's got to be all or nothing. And you know that exactly 100%.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And we're not even on YouTube yet, like full time. You know, that's been floating on our mind. Random thought, but like that's been something that, you know, I looked at Dom, especially last month, and I was like, we're ready to do this. We're ready to go in front of film. Like, you can see even the ones on that I've done when I sat down with guests. I mean, I'm locked and loaded, and those are all first fucking takes. I don't fuck around.
You're on film right now, buddy.
That's the mindset you have to have, right? Yeah. Hey.
Yeah, I had a producer for the longest time, and he'd switch the cameras. I have 4 cameras, and he'd switch it up on whenever we'd be talking, but he had to quit for work. So I'm in the process of interviewing new producers. I call him a producer. That's just a fancy-ass term. I just need someone to click a mouse and pull up Google, basically. I mean, it's super, super simple. So I've been taking interviews for that and just looking for the right fit to kind of come back and have my producer, a new producer in here.
Do you go with your gut feeling on those, or are you looking for like a certain age?
No, I don't know. I haven't. I've gone with. I've had good people. I've had my last guy, Robin, was great, phenomenal. I could trust him. I'm looking for trust. I'm looking for someone I can trust.
Right.
Basically, I'm looking for someone to trust. I don't care if they're 18 or 50. If I can trust them and they can do the bare minimum of what it takes to do what I need them to do, shit. And if they don't, it's not hard to do. But yeah, it takes the right person, just someone I can trust. There's
got to be someone out there.
Man,
listen.
Yeah, except I put a video last night on Instagram looking for one, and I've had some people hit me up about it. So I'll talk to some people and try and get the hardest thing is, like I said, usually do it on Sundays, and so I got to get the person that's got Sundays available. Not always the easiest for a lot of people, especially with the families, you know.
Yeah. I've done a few sessions on Sundays. A lot on Saturdays.
Yeah. Oof. I got my kids on Saturday. That's what I wish I could do. I have my kids every weekend. So Fridays and Saturdays are just tough for me. I mean, I can get a sitter sometimes, but I can't commit to every single one. That would just be too hard.
Damn.
I should have brought more orange juice down here.
Damn it. Mom.
Yeah, Mom. You want to take a break real quick?
Yeah, that's cool.
Well, I'm going to take a break real quick.
Yeah,
I'm going to get some, refill my drink.
You're good.
My purple drink.
Your drink. That's someone I should definitely get you in contact with.
Who's that?
Sean.
Sean?
Ashan.
Ashan?
Yeah, local
Okay.
artist. Also a mad rapper. Probably
Nice.
on the list.
Nice. Shevin, I'm trying to get Shevin on again. Do you know who that is?
No.
Shevin? he just had a single drop with Tech Nine week or two ago. It's up to 100. It's up to 100,000 listens on Spotify.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fucking good. He's badass. Dude. I'm gonna turn you on to him. He's badass.
Okay. Good.
And I'm having Alan Wayne the Prodigy. Do you know him? I've had him on before, and I'm gonna have him on again here in a few weeks, couple weeks, next week. Yeah, I'm having him on again soon. He's great. But yeah, all right. Let's start this bad boy up again here.
Yeah. Down there.
All right, you ready?
Yep.
What were we talking about? Podcasting, podcast guests. What were I thought? Shoot, we were going somewhere good before I interrupted it with the different rappers. Dang, what were we talking about off mic? The best conversations are always off mic, aren't they?
Right.
Don't you get that?
I feel the same way. Usually afterwards too, it's like, damn, I should have fucking said this. I stopped saying that out loud because like I can just see it hit. I can see it in their eyes, like it's just red across.
Mm-hmm.
That's okay. I just go, well, for another time, another story, another episode. You know what I mean? Like, that's cool. We'll come back around. We actually, speaking of that, we have a 420 guest that comes on all the time.
What's a 420 guest?
Well, we actually do. So we record a week before 420, and we release a podcast on 420.
Okay.
So, the first one was actually in the
May
basement.
20th.
No. Okay.
Or April 20th.
April 20th. What's crazy
May
about
20th is something else. I don't know.
Might be. I don't know.
April
Maybe I'm
20th.
tripping now. But the 420, right? Like our first one was in the basement of my house. That's where I was recording the first like 3 or 4 podcasts. And what's crazy is that on the 420, I released one of the barber podcast that I did. And
You just interviewed a barber?
no, we did at that time. It was my second episode. So my first episode was with Colin from Stranglehold, which was like streetwear, which everyone was thinking like that was like going to be the motto for StreetWavve because that's the fashion, the culture, and the community that I'm part of. And no, I threw him a curveball. My second one was my barber, Micah, that has a barber shop in the basement of his house.
Oh, yeah?
And he cuts hair amazingly. But like we kind of left pass with him just because he was starting to charge $50 a haircut.
Dang, son.
He was that professional, and let me tell you, I love that place so much, and I miss it because it took me out of Kansas City. It didn't feel like you were in Midwest. It feels like you were like, I don't know, man, maybe like West Coast or East Coast, somewhere that wasn't normal.
I love a good barber.
Yeah.
How much was it? What did it go from to? What was it before 50?
I was getting it 35, so I tip him 40. And then it moved to 40, so then I was giving 45, and then he increased his prices, which, I'm not hating on that.
If the demand is there and he's getting it,
yeah,
good for him.
Yeah, no, and I was stoked, and I sent him like a blessing and like the best, he's still a brother, and for him to be on the second podcast, he's part of the family, and so with the 421, last year, we had to release it in May, so we released that on 520. But this year we had it down. We actually got a venue where it was a live podcast show. We invited people over to this venue, and my guests put joints under all the seats where people sat, and we smoked and we lit up at 420 on the week before 420. So when we record it, it's actually at 420, but we can play it on 420.
That's funny, especially because it was like fake weed. It was that legal weed, right?
It was the stank.
Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But it was cool, man. Like,
because if it was real weed, the statute of limitations would still be holding true. I probably wouldn't. It was probably fake, that catnip, right? I'm just making a stupid joke.
No.
You get it?
The
Did it
K2,
go over your head?
The K2.
I'm just.
No, you're too
I'm
old
just.
for me.
I'm too old for you. I'm just saying. You don't want to drop the dime on yourself. Is all I'm saying.
No, that's true. But we had a good time. We had a really good time, and it was cool. But he's our regular 420 guest, man.
How many people are you getting at these live podcast shows? Are they there just for the podcast, or are they there for other shit too?
Yeah, everything. So here's how the event goes down.
Okay.
At 8 we start the social hour, And that's like drinks, food. You can order at Kobe Q. Have a great time.
You always do it at Kobe Q?
Well, this summer we did.
Okay.
The first one we did at El Pozo. So that was underground. We felt
Mhm.
like it was time for us to be above ground, quote unquote.
Sure.
To get above and, actually have a stage and like put lights and like have this routine, have a, at this time is a more, like a well-planned scheduled thing and communicate all that and try to get that all going in the moment,
Mhm. Right.
and then we made it happen. But the numbers, I mean, probably between like the 40s and 50s.
Wow.
Maybe the least is like 30, but man, it's so intimate and
That's
we
huge.
don't give a we really don't
That's
give
a
a
lot
fuck.
of people.
Yeah, we don't give a fuck who like really like the number wise. Like it'll stress me out cuz like I get nervous.
That's a huge number. I would be so nervous. I see one of the biggest things honestly that keeps me from even doing something like that is I'm just, I guess, super insecure, and I think maybe 5 or 6 people would show up.
Yeah, but like in that mindset, especially after doing our first shows, like, yeah, I do stress out about that, and that's on my mind for sure. But like, here's how things go. People don't show up on starting times at all.
Of course
anymore.
not.
So we actually started the event usually about 30 to 40 minutes after when it was supposed to be planned to start, actually. So we just really fill it out. And that's what's great about working with Dom and him being around so many live shows and doing so many live shows is that he knows when he tells me something like, chill out, there'll be people like, it's just like that. Then I'm like, all right, cool. I'm going to chill out a little bit. I'm going to go smoke some weed, chill out a little bit more. But that's on the mind for sure. But the linking that goes on, like we spoke a little bit about, is like the connections between other artists that don't know each other or have admired them through Instagram and they're actually there and like doing a collaboration together or building a connection to do something bigger. That's the shit.
Keep going. I'm sorry. I had a really good idea.
Okay.
And I just have to write it down.
Okay.
Or else I'm going to forget. You've got my head just spinning here, dude. I'm just thinking of like, man, you're doing the damn thing. You're doing these ideas that I've tossed around, and I don't know. I bet you I can. If I don't know. I gotta.
Let me tell you, like, we don't. I mean, financially, maybe not always break even, but that's not even about the shit. Take care of the people that we are taking care of, and that's it. You know what I mean? Like, I'll share the situation you with, and here's what could happen, and this is what happened to us in July at the show. We didn't know Carlos Santana was playing that night at the Sprint Center. And I didn't know that like the country singers were going down in the plaza. So parking was absurd. And if you were going to find parking, you'd have to pay. Well, Dom looks at me and he brings up not the obvious, but a great fact of like, people are going to pay for parking, paying at the door may not be a good idea. So we actually did July's show for free.
Oh, cool.
And I'm okay with that. And it didn't kill me. It was just, again, about the community that we've created and that we're a part of and that we get to lead and do things that we love. I don't give a shit.
Dude, that's cool. So you do a show, it's $6 at the door. How much of that has to go to Kobe Q? Because I'm sure they must get a cut, right? Well, I mean, you don't have to give me numbers at all, but I'm just saying, do they take a cut?
Here's the thing in their situation. They had a stage but didn't know how to create a community. They were trying to do events and this and that. And Evan, who bartended and helped with my events last summer at the El Pozo, was now working there. So I hit him up and I was like, hey man, what do you think about this? And he's the event planner for the place, trying to get things in there to build that place up more. So we actually got, to do that for free. We never talked about it because we promised them what we could build that place up to be and people would know. And now people go there regularly because like they went that night, this and that.
Right.
That's that shit that happens, man. Is like,
yeah, I got it.
El Pozo, when we were there last summer, they got shows and they got, DJs taking over that came through to our event and now are playing at El Pozo. And Austin Goldberg, like working with him was a pleasure also, like huge admirer of him. So.
Yeah. Man, I'm glad I've had you on. I'm just, my wheels are turning right now. Just, I got ideas bouncing off. This is motivating, especially right now, this season of my life. Beautiful time to get weird with my thoughts.
Well, it's just taking those thoughts that you second guess and then just putting them in front of you and taking it on as a challenge and doing it. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
And that's the shit that it's
gotta
hard
get
for
back
people
to
to
it,
get
yeah.
over.
Yeah, my motto for this podcast for the longest time is Wayne Gretzky said it is you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take.
Yeah.
So you just got to keep firing, just keep shooting.
100%. Yeah. And as much as I mean, I feel like when people say no, they don't have time for the podcast or no, they don't want to be on, it's just like, okay. Like, I don't take it personal anymore.
Oh, I've never taken it personal if they say
I mean?
no.
But
You
it
know,
can get
I take
get
shit-
like that. It can
Yeah. I take shit personally, but not
Yeah,
that. I don't
yeah.
care if you say no. If you say no, I expect you to say no, honestly.
Right.
Like, it's whatever. I'm asking you to do me a favor. That's how
Yeah,
I feel. When I
yeah.
ask someone, I feel like I'm asking them to do me a huge favor of taking your time out of your day to come talk to me.
Right.
That's just, fuck, what was I saying before that shit? I'm such a bad podcast host.
You've got me a huge bottle of water. That's all I've asked.
I've been drinking, ladies and gentlemen.
You asked me, you're like, what do you drink? And I was like, water. You're like, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I don't.
You don't drink?
Really
Are you not a drinker?
I don't drink that much. I'll have a beer or a cocktail from time to time, and maybe if the moment's right, I'll feel lit. But
We were at the nose. People saying no. That's what I was saying. Yeah.
okay.
Sorry, I'm remembered where we were at.
No, you're okay.
Yeah, when people say no, I don't take that. I expect people to say no. You're doing me a favor. The ones that drive me nuts are the ones that say they will, and then they back out, or they, you know what I mean, or they don't show up.
Yeah.
I had I don't know if I'm not gonna call these dudes out right now. Ooh, but it's close. It's
The
close.
names
It's
are
a
coming.
bum. It's a bummer, man. I'll call people out. Like,
Okay.
one of the reasons why I'm so shocked I'm on the Pitch Awards list.
Yeah, which is great.
Thanks, man.
Congratulations.
Is because I am kind of raw, and I say not safe for Johnson County mom, soccer mom.
Oh yeah. They
You
can
know what I
go
mean? Like,
fuck
cause
off.
but I mean, like, I'll call people out. Like, I shouldn't, like, I don't know, but I'll, like, people that have done. I think I called out. So there was this Instagram. He won. I won't call his name out this time. I've done it before, but he won a pitch award last year for the best Instagram. And just a couple months ago, I hit him up, or maybe it was like 3 months ago, 3 or 4 months ago. I hit him up. I was like, "Hey, dude, I love your stuff, blah, blah, blah. Would love to have you on my podcast." He's like, "Oh, that'd be great, man. Let's do it." We're corresponding back and forth lots of time. We got a date set. And then even like beforehand, I was like, "Hey, man, we're still good for Sunday." "Oh, yeah. I was like, and then like even like a day before, I was like, "Hey, tomorrow I'll go ahead and just park in my driveway." He's like, "Yeah, cool. Well, it's like 1 o'clock. He's supposed to be here at 1. He's not here yet. I'm like, "Yeah, cool. I'm not hearing from him. No worries." 1:20. I'm like, well, all right. It's weird. And I sent him like a email or something. Yeah. Then I hear back from him. He's like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. My car broke down last night, and I don't have my sister's." I don't know. It was like a real cockamamie BS excuse. Like, dude, just tell me you didn't want to. Just tell me you didn't want to come or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know, but
Yeah.
even that would have pissed me off. But like, it was that day. He's like, "Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I'm sorry." I was like, "Come on, dude.
Yeah.
Like, why do that? Just tell me the beginning you don't want to do it, or that you change your mind, but don't wait the day of and then make up some bullshit excuse."
That's when like when I meet people now, especially like through creative groups, quote unquote, or through other friends.
One more thing on him, and then
Oh, yeah,
afterwards,
sorry.
I was like, "Hey, no worries, I understand. Shoot me a time when it'll work for you, and we'll reschedule." Ghosted me. I don't remember his name. I wouldn't call his name out. I've done that before.
I'm
You could
kind of
pro-
like
you
the
could-
verge on my mind. I think I know who you're
Really?
talking about.
He won Best Instagram last year.
Yeah.
I think his name was Qasim J. Hardaway. I'm not calling him out, though.
That's not his name. Shit.
That's why I'm surprised I was on the list.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I'll talk shit to someone that does me wrong, man. Don't do that.
They're
Don't
like, man,
do
he's
that to me,
fucking
bro.
real. He went after that guy.
I'm not going after him, but it is what it is. He knows what he did, and it's out there. Don't do it to me if you didn't want it out there.
No, for sure. I've got a where I was getting to though too as well as like I've created like a radar for that. Like
I need to borrow that radar. Is it for
If-
sale?
it's a bot. It's like I was saying, I go to like these meetups and friends of friends, and also with that vibe, man. Like maybe people have gotten mad because I don't say anything about it, but they're surprised that I don't say anything about it.
About what?
StreetWavve.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? So already I'm like, well, I'm not going to have you on my show because like I feel like now your reason behind being on the podcast is like on your side major than like equally, if that makes sense at all. You know what I
I'm
mean?
confused.
No.
What people are you talking about?
No, like the people like when I'm trying to decide if like they should be on the show or not.
Okay.
Like if
Before
in order for them not to burn me out like that, not to
Okay.
have that happen.
Oh, okay.
I have like a radar.
Oh,
of
gotcha.
like,
yeah, okay.
Like there's certain things, there's certain words, there's certain vibes,
okay.
there's even looks on their face that
I see. I do a lot of my communicating purely through Instagram. It's not all through like face to face. I don't meet a lot of random people.
That's why you need to like go to these things. You need to come out to Kansas City, Missouri, connect with like KC Creatives or FAM even. And
See, that's the thing. With I want to. The thing is, like I was saying earlier, I have my kids on the weekends,
right.
and a lot of
Okay.
those things are on
Okay.
Fridays and Saturdays.
Okay. These are on Sundays. But
Yeah,
then
the
you do a
fam- yeah.
podcast.
Yeah, then I do my podcast, but I do need. Trust me, I do
Yeah.
need to get my ass seen.
I'm just saying like that would like my social skills and the most. Does it make sense?
You're extroverted, huh?
I'm not like out all the time.
No, 'cause I'm super introverted. That shit is a struggle for me.
Oh, I got you. That's why also sometimes I smoke weed is like so I can. Sometimes it makes me have more anxiety. Sometimes it doesn't. Depending on that shit. But like I have to get uncomfortable sometimes because I need a challenge. Like
Cool.
if that makes sense at all.
No, I'm a bow hunter. It makes 100% sense. Bow hunting's extremely hard. You want to challenge yourself? Try bow hunting, and then do it on public lands.
I've done it on like the. They
Targets.
used to have
That's
the
cool.
game. The fucking like it had like a string, but it was like on a console game. It was a bow one.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right, man. There's the end of my story. But I have done bowing at like a summer school thing, like a.
Well done some bowing.
Oh yeah, putting on that glove and.
It's one way to do it. If you see my bow, it'd freak you out.
Does it have like laser beams on it?
Might as well. Thing's crazy. Think I'll shoot through an elephant.
Jesus.
Maybe not all the way through it, but it'll
It's
it'll
in
kill
there.
one.
Yeah.
Arrows are like one of the most. I don't know, it's one of the most efficient weapons
Yeah.
ever made.
How'd you get into bow hunting?
It's like most people, just kind of. My dad was a bow hunter, and I just got into it through him and loved it.
Damn.
Dude, I'm telling you what, man. It's in. I don't want to say it's in every man's DNA, but it's certainly in mine.
Right.
And when you're just out there in the middle of nowhere, all by yourself, for hours in the middle of nowhere, dude, there's not a person around you. Just animals, and you're waiting to kill one with a bow. Super close. I mean, the last couple ones I've shot were with under 20 yards away.
Shit.
You know what I mean? And they have no idea you're there. I've had deer I could jump on, like walk right underneath me in a tree. I could just jump on top of them. To be that intimate, and then to kill that deer, like to have an intimate kill like that, it's exhilarating. It's like it's super. You get a lot of adrenaline, and then you have all this compassion also, but then the thrill of it. It's like this weird yin and yang of emotions and gratitude and achievement, and then the work begins. Then you gotta gut the animal out, and then you gotta haul it out, and then you gotta butcher it up, but then you turn it into meat, and then you get to eat it, and you get to give it to your friends, and you're feeding your family, and you're feeding your friends, and every time as a hunter, You take a bite into that steak of that deer you killed, all these memories just flood into your brain like a drug.
Damn.
Of the feelings you were when you shot it, and where the deer was looking, and where you were at, and this the whole story that you were there for a week, and just all this stuff, man.
What an experience.
Yeah.
Like, not just that, but like I don't know, growing as a man. You know what I mean? You come out and you're like, I'm even manlier than when I began.
Sure. It'll make you feel like a man. I'll tell you what. Hauling a dead animal 1.5 miles deep in the woods.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then cooking it. That'll make you feel like a man.
Bro, and I've eaten some wild game.
It's good, right?
Yeah.
If you know how to cook it.
The boar was really like,
Ooh, I like that.
we had to inject a lot of fat in there because they're really tough. I'm talking about like the ones that were like in Africa, like
okay.
I'm talking,
warthogs.
Yeah, I'm talking about.
Oh my.
Yeah.
You probably have to slow cook them for 73 hours or something.
Yeah. That's what it seemed like for sure. And then like Springbok and like different kind of.
I bet that's delicious.
Oh yeah, it's fantastic. There's all kinds of antelope and deer out there.
Mm-hmm.
And they all taste, obviously different. But bro, I'm talking like cheese, crackers, that meat, wine,
yeah.
bro. It's like
it's all over.
Yeah, the charcuterie.
Charcuterie. Oh man. Yeah, no, you said it close enough.
Yeah. I just make up words sometimes.
Who doesn't? You're a podcaster.
Dictionary.
That's what we
right?
do.
Hell yeah. 100%.
That's what we
the
do.
Truth. Yeah. People look at me like, is that a fucking real word?
You know what I'm saying, you son of a bitch.
Just go with it.
Uh-huh. I'll correct myself if it's super egregious, but if you can, put together my mumbling, it gets worse too if I get real drinky drink. Whew. Right now is not much. I haven't had a ton, but
I would be lit already though. I'm just saying, like I would be like
off what I've been drinking.
Yeah, I'm an extremely lightweight.
Yeah, I've this podcast has definitely turned me into more of someone that can handle his liquor. I've never had an inch, but I don't always drink on here.
Right.
But sometimes I do.
No, that's all good.
But last week was a great episode. That one is going to be a big one. I hope. It won't be. It probably won't be because it's somebody that has no followers, right?
Right. Who is it?
Her name is just Yaz. It's Yaz. Yasmin. She is a Muslim who got disowned by her family because she wouldn't do an arranged marriage.
Wow. And
she literally is disowned. Like, and she says she's not really Muslim anymore. She's more like, let's say, westernized.
Okay.
Because her story is, and she grew up in Florida.
Wow.
With a big Muslim community.
Yeah.
And her family is from Palestine.
Damn.
And her story is amazing. I want that. That's ones, I'm sure you have some where you're like, I hope this episode gets listened to a lot of people. I mean, you obviously want everyone to, but like there's some I want listen to more. Like I'm like, this one is important. Please listen to this one. I hope that one is listened to a lot. But I ended up, I mean, it was like 3 hours long. And I started out with like one beer before we even started and ended like having, I don't know, 5, but on like no food. And I was pretty drunk. Like the progression of it, I'm just sure my slurring got I caught myself. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm drunk. I'm slurring these words. Yeah. But I think I was holding it together enough to get some good questions. Because it was she's awesome. She's amazing. Amazing.
I can't get like other than now, too super stoned when I'm like running a show anymore. I was like, even with our live events, like Dom and I would smoke outside. Like,
dude, I'll get trashed. I would drink
and
drunk.
Then we'll like come in and I'm like, and then it's like showtime and I'm like, yo.
That's funny.
I'm like, I'm not ready.
That's funny.
Another 5 minutes.
That's funny.
Yeah, like, I just had to. Always afterwards, always, especially like if I'm riding home and I'm just kind of like, thinking over shit and whatever. But alcohol for me, it just, I'm extremist, man. So it's like if I start,
okay,
It's hard for me, like especially on the liquor side. Beer is cool. I'll have like one because I'll be like, oh, I'm like full as fuck, whatever. Like I'm done, blah. But alcohol, man, it's like especially if they're tasty and they're bougie.
Bougie booze, baby.
Yeah, especially if they're that, bro. I'm
Crossroads
like, look.
Hotel. We did not forget about you.
No.
Sponsor both of us, please.
No, yeah, please.
With
Yeah,
that bougie booze at the Crossroads Hotel, StreetWavve, and Neandertalk podcast, please get at us.
Yes, please, definitely. Like that shit will light me on fire. Like I'll be like, I'll just tell the homies I'm lit, which isn't a bad thing from time to time. I just don't get heavily wasted anymore because
36, you said?
I turned 34 actually
34.
next weekend.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So, which is cool. Like I'm excited about it. Every year has been another building and great year. So I'm looking forward to the start of 34. Like people are like, "You're 34? What? You don't act 34?" And I'm like, "What is a 34 supposed to act like?"
Not me.
I don't even think people know. I don't think people know. I don't know. I'm like, this is me. That's
yeah.
me.
I certainly. I'll tell you this. I'm 39. I don't act 39.
No, not at all. Not at all.
I don't. But then again, I don't want to act.
No, and that's it. I don't want to act 34 either.
But here's the thing. If I did act 39, I would probably be a lot more successful.
In this day and age, I don't even know if that's.
Maybe not.
Who knows?
Who knows is right.
I mean, here's a comparison, kind of, but like Lil Nas's Country Road thing, like, yo, that is shit.
It's for kids. It's a children's song.
Right? Should be on Kids
I'm not
Bops.
even kidding. It is a
Kids
children's
Bops
song.
17.
He plays that shit at these like schools,
I saw
and they're all singing along. I mean,
and
that's
doing
a kid's
the
song.
riding the horse.
Yeah,
dance
that's not an adult song. If you're an adult getting down to that, it's because you have kids, probably.
But then I look at it like
You ain't bumping that shit. What single dude is bumping that?
no, not even the remix.
Dumb chicks with horrible taste in music that are also listening to Post Malone or listening to
People listen to that Yodel kid too, and they're like, "Man, his album's actually good." I'm like,
I don't know what that is.
Excuse me, what? Yeah, that's another. I don't even know how to explain.
A yodel kid.
A kid that yodels.
Yeah. Kick rocks kid.
He was on like the, America's Biggest.
Sure he
Baba.
was. I'm sure they've got all kinds of kids that have done stuff.
Here's a puppet.
I'm into the Kansas City music scene, man.
Oh yeah, for sure. What's some of your favorite local?
Man, right now is Casey Young Boss.
Okay.
You know him or
No.
heard of him?
No. See, I
Dude.
need to see these people, and then I'd be like, oh yeah.
Dude, I saw Twista was just in town.
Yeah.
And I had so one of my past guests was performing at that show, Lou Rip
Okay.
and Lucid Flows. And so I saw that Lou was going to be there. And then I also saw Casey Young Boss, who I've been hip to for a minute. I was like, dude, both these guys are going to be together and Twista? I was like, I got to go to this. And then I found out Lucid was performing. So it was like all these dudes I wanted to see. And for one, to watch Lou Rip and Lucid, I've had Lucid on my show 3 times.
Damn.
And Lou once, and I respect the shit out of him. He's just he's badass. He's legit. And to get to see people you've had on your show perform on a stage. This was at Voodoo Lounge. Like, this is a real show, dude. So I got to see dudes up there doing it. And
Man.
so then, Casey Young Boss was on after them. And he's just someone I got hip to through, I'm going to be honest, through Casey Mixtapes Radio. Do you know? Oh, dude. Write that shit down. KC Mixtapes Radio.
Okay.
It's on.
We'll get that.
How do you listen to music?
iPod or iTunes.
iTunes. Okay, he's got a list on Spotify, but he also has an app, and you can get that app, and it's all KC artists, like hip hop, R&B artists.
Do you
like
know what
it's a
that's
list.
called? Do you
KC
remember?
Mixtapes Radio.
Oh, okay.
It's dope, dude. It's got some like local fire.
Yeah.
And that's where I got hip to Young Boss, and he's so good, dude. I hope he blows up. Sully 4Q, Ray Money, Alan Wayne the Prodigy, Chevin. There's these dudes called Unique in Influence. Yeah.
I think I need
I've
to
had
like,
them on the
get
show.
this app and listen.
Yeah, MB58 is a good local dude. Popper, of course, he's old school. Yeah, I don't know. There's a few just off the top of my head that I can think of that are.
It's cool because like you're like giving me more leadway to like people that I have not met and that like I can look forward to. Do you know what I mean? Like especially bringing on StreetWavve, that's cool. Like I'm always down to meet more artists that are trying to push themselves.
Oh, some of these are like legit. I mean,
know what I mean? Yeah. No, I mean like Dom, my co-host, is like one of the, like he is legit.
Yeah.
Like, he works his ass off.
I love
and
it.
He makes great music, like fucking phenomenal. Especially coming after, like making his loft a studio. Like, and seeing him progress in that.
That's cool.
That's insane.
Don't you love seeing dudes that are hungry and chasing their passion like that, doing stuff like putting a studio in their house like that? Like,
Yeah, and that's why we work so well together. Is like he knows that if he's working on something for himself, that he doesn't have to like even think twice about me because he knows that I'm just as hungry as he is to do what we're doing every fucking day, man.
Right.
Wake up with it, go to bed, peace.
Hell yeah.
You have to have that, especially now more than ever. It's like you have to be passionate about what you're doing, or like then you got to be like, what am I doing?
What do you think of the podcast competition in Kansas City? Do you think of it as a competition? Do you think there's a podcast competition, or do you look at anything like any?
Let me just be 100%. Like after you reached out to me,
Mm-hmm.
there isn't really a whole lot of podcasting I even bother to look at or follow. Like, I know for a fact that we've created our own lane with StreetWavve, and that's the lane that I'm in,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm cool with that.
Mm-hmm.
It's like being here. It's like I love what you're doing, and now I can fully support you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I haven't met a whole lot of other podcasting. A few. Like from,
I mean, if you just paid attention to the scene, like just like different people that are out here doing their shit here.
I don't, man.
Yeah.
I don't. It's kind of like when we talk about the number game. You know, it's like we don't really pay attention to it. Sometimes we do, but for me, it's like the same thing, man. I don't give a fuck.
Right.
I'm in a tunnel vision now more than ever. You have to be. If you really want to succeed, you have to be like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like I don't support others 100%. Like if I get word or like I meet somebody, I'm like, rad. I know a guy that I haven't seen for a while at a coffee shop that runs like, he does a podcast and he does climbing, like indoor climbing and outdoor
cool.
climbing.
Nice.
So he was telling me how he brings his guests on organically every week. And I was like, man, that's great. Like I'm supporting that. Like, that's great, man. Like I try to give him some advice. Not that like I'm the god or the goat of it, but as a friend is like, here's some shit that I've had to work through, and here's how I
am the goat, so if you have any questions.
You are the goat. The goat. But yeah, man, I don't see it as competition at all.
I don't know if you did or not. That's what I was asking.
Yeah.
Because I do think some people out there do.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
Shit, man.
I think there's some podcasters out there that are a little.
Like, are you talking about like bigger podcasters that are like that, or like?
I'm talking local ones.
Okay.
I wouldn't say.
Okay.
I don't even know. Is there any big podcasts out of Kansas City, like bigger ones? I don't know. I'm sure there are, but I don't know. They probably don't announce that they're here in Kansas City, but there's some of them that have. I feel like I've. You're not my first podcast guest.
Mm-hmm.
I've had other podcasters on, but I've also been declined by some other ones. Kind of like, and I felt big leagued by it. I didn't feel like it was like a. No, I don't even know why you would say no. No, I don't know, but I just felt big leagued by people that I was like, huh. I just wanted to. You podcast, I podcast. Why wouldn't we get together and podcast together? Let's talk about what we're both passionate about.
Yeah,
and collab. Like if you want, you can have this audio. Like I'll give you this audio if you want to put it on your show. Like you know what I mean? Like I'm down with like doing whatever. Like this can be, you know what I mean? Like, come on, people. It's all
Yeah.
like one of my mottos is, the tide rises all ships. If we all get this together and promote each other, let's build this community up. It's a podcast community. Let's help each other out.
And that's the thing. It's like I'm deeply embedded in that culture of uplifting each other like that in all different kind of aspects, not just podcasting.
Oh, for sure.
So that has been a blessing for me because I've been able to see things differently, if that makes sense, rather than like, I guess just being about myself, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm trying to work on the selfish thing, to be selfless. It's difficult. You know what I mean? It's like, it's almost, for me, it's a different persona with StreetWavve than like, so I have 2 Instagrams, and the city is like my personal one, and then I have StreetWavve. And like, no lie, there's things that I would post on one and then I don't on the other.
For sure.
But
I should get a personal one. I do, but I abandoned it.
yeah, listen, I don't rarely post on my personal one. Yeah. I mean, obviously I wouldn't put I put like maybe 2% energy into that one. I'm like, it's solidified, I don't care, whatever. Like I'm over it. I wish I could take it off, but it kind of helps me stay sane, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it hasn't been an escape route for me, but it's been a creative outlet for me to really be preoccupied in something important rather than in something bad, so alcoholism and drugism lies in my family.
Mm-hmm.
And so I try to like, stay away from that, especially with like, my dad was in Vietnam, so I have depression. I mean, like, no lie. So battling with that, StreetWavve has like really cured my life. Bottom line. And it's crazy even like reminisce that right now, but that's the real truth, is like, and I heard this recently when I was in Chicago. It's like as a escape window for me, from what's in front of me to where I would one day love to be and can dream and make that happen because the ball's in my court. So yeah, man, it gets personal really quick.
It does. It's not hard to get real personal on these things.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, like, podcasting for me has been like I said, an escape for me, but at the same time, a huge building block in what's going on in Kansas City, and getting recognition when I don't even, like the podcast may have flipped or may have not sound that good, but I tried my best, but it's in the back of my mind. Having that people come up and commend you is like gratitude.
Nice.
And it's also humbling because it's like I tell you, it's like, okay, I'm on the right path.
Yeah.
I'm on the right path. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Man, I love what you're doing. I love seeing this. I hope we can get more podcasters to do things like this and come together and
it's hard to be
just build this
vulnerable,
community because
yeah,
as a podcaster, we're looking to grow.
Yeah.
And the best way to do it is to get other people that listen to podcasts.
Right.
And so it's nice to we should just all kind of come together. I mean, I've put it out there. I want more podcasters come on here. I'll come on other people's podcasts.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a cool community that we need to
I
build.
think like the more we do that, like you said, the more powerful we can speak out. Like, I mean, is the Midwest really known for what we do here, period? Even in local hip hop, like,
it's overlooked. It saddens me.
And it upsets me. It
does.
Really
it
does.
Bums me the fuck out. There's so many badass local artists. I'm like, why aren't you bigger? You need to be so much bigger. You're so talented. It sounds so good. Like, it's just overlooked because we're flyover state or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, what do you got to do? You gotta go out to California? Like, oh.
And that's where everyone flocks to.
Mm-hmm.
And there's those that make it, and then there's those that come back and go, not right now.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, don't sleep on KC's hip hop scene.
Yeah, no.
Or music scene in general.
Yeah, and even in the creative outlook, like I'm talking from like, performers, or not just performers, but like dancing and like painting and all kinds of creative outlook. Like I think people don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And I got laughed at coming back here. Like
it's getting out there. It's getting more.
Yeah.
I think because of podcasts.
Yeah.
I mean, kind of probably like ours it is getting out there. A lot of people are starting to compare Kansas City to Austin. Like we're like the next Austin. Like we're the new Austin.
I heard Nashville somewhere, but Austin I can see. I haven't been to Austin, but I've seen pictures.
But they have a real good art community there, and it was like the cool hipster spot that started blowing up. And it's kind of, you look downtown, you look at the crossroads, you look what it's been. I mean, I've been here for a long time. I remember going down when it was, I mean, downtown was nothing. It was a ghost town. Crossroads was not. It was totally New Temptations or whatever it was.
Right.
You know, there wasn't shit in the crossroads.
Yeah.
And now it's like boom, that's the spot to go.
It is, and it's.
I mean, all of it, downtown, Power and Light, all that jazz.
Yeah, River Market.
River Market, love me some River Market.
Man, I haven't been to the Saturday market for a minute, but I would definitely be game.
Yeah, I go Sundays a lot.
Do you?
Mm-hmm. Sundays is good. Like I'll take like I don't know, meet somebody down there for coffee or just go by myself or I'll take my kids on there some Saturdays and just walk around.
It's definitely family oriented down there.
Mm-hmm.
And like the booths and everything. Like, I got used to going to like butchers all the time in South Africa.
Nice.
So like, seeing like the meat guys set up from like where, they cut and like they package and everything. I love those stories, man. And like, I'm always asking them questions of like, oh man, where is this from? What, is it, grass fed or, just asking them all kinds of interesting questions.
Right.
Because that's what I'm used to going to the butcher. Like,
that's dope.
That was the shit. I miss that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that was also like time just to shoot the shit with people, and get like in South Africa they have this thing called biltong, which is like beef jerky, but it's not like beef jerky at all. It's like a B or C average steak that's dried out and then cut really thin.
Okay.
But it's about the seasoning as well.
Right.
Bro.
Really?
I'm talking like
street food. Street food's so good.
I like medium rare, but this is like medium rare jerky. It is so tender, but
gotcha.
You get like a nice piece of fat on it.
What would like asada? Maybe like a carne asada type thing? Or does that be like a
no? Like this is like it's about the spice. It's like where South Africa really differentiates from like anything.
Okay.
It's like the biltong spice that they use that has like a little bit of this and that and that. I mean, I couldn't tell you what it was in there, but it was fire.
Nice.
You like weigh it out and just leave with like a big ass bag of it, like a kilo.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, man. It was good times, but yeah, for sure.
So that's our pitch for Kansas City, guys. Come down. If you're not from Kansas City, we are now being hired by the Kansas City Board of Tourism. Come on down. Right?
Come on.
We're pimping Crossroads. I mean, for real, if you guys wanted to come, Kansas City's so good. It's a great city to visit.
100%.
You know what I mean? I think it's even better one to live in.
Yeah.
But it is a good town to visit.
It's affordable.
If you're close. Golly, is it? Yeah, it's a cool town to visit.
Yeah, I mean,
depends on where you're coming from.
Yeah. The transportation's great.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, the scooters. I love the scooters.
Yeah,
the
don't forget
birds.
about those. Yeah, but I haven't ridden one for a while just because, like, they're everywhere and people are making mistakes and everything. And
I'm not. Yeah, I'll ride those things all day. I love them. I love those stupid scooters.
Yeah, but
man.
here's my luck, man. So when it first began, I would try to go find one on the app.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, I would travel like 6 blocks.
Yeah,
trying
right.
to fucking find one.
Right.
That's also what burned me. I'm like, yo, fuck these guys. Like,
they're everywhere now.
Yeah, for sure. And like those orange ones, they've got like a few.
Yeah, I saw the orange ones recently.
In Chicago, they've got like 5 or 6 different kinds.
I love them.
Built all differently, man.
If I lived downtown, I wouldn't. If I lived downtown, I almost don't need a vehicle.
You could just buy one for like $500 and call it great.
That's probably what I would do.
Because you could probably spin that.
Yeah.
That
for sure. But you don't have to maintain it. But yeah, it would be nice to have your own.
I've ran into the guy that runs, or when the green one was in town. Lime, right?
Yeah. How come they left?
I don't know.
They just weren't making money, huh?
I don't know. Like, I think it was like a trial. Like, let's see if this works here. I met the guy that was like representing them, just out and about picking up scooters and shit. And he had like one of the new ones. He's like, man, try this one out. And I was like, woo, cool. That guy was like, he just looked like he just sat at home and chilled most of the day. Like, he didn't do shit.
Right.
I was just like, damn, what the life.
That's the life.
I wouldn't want to be like in the scooter game though. Like that's just not for me.
It's one of those
I'm
hard.
on a
I
podcast.
imagine he's one of those hustlers. This is entrepreneurial type hustlers, man. Like I get some of those guys on the podcast that'll just can make a buck out of anything.
Right.
You know what I mean? And they
Whoa.
hustle. They come up with these ideas and they just hustle all day long, no matter what it is.
Yeah, talk about hustling. I was most recently challenged by this guy. He was like, "Man, imagine making $500 a day." I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Yeah, that's $108,000 a year," and I was like, "What I make right now, that would be like." But then I think about it, right? If I had my lifestyle at that paying, would I be still where I'm at if it was,
Right.
different in that way? Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
the lifestyle would be obviously more.
Yeah.
Obviously.
You make more money, you
Yeah.
spend more money. That's what
Yeah.
Patrick Ewing said. That's why he said
Hey,
basketball
thanks.
players need to get paid more
Right?
because they spend more.
Oh. Of course. Yeah, no. I just, that's just shit that I just don't try to get caught up to because I'm like, I'm not there and I'm right here and that's okay. Like, I can dream big sometimes, but I'm still focused on what's in front of me.
That's all I do.
You have to.
Got to. Can't look too far ahead.
I've spent a lot of time trying to do that.
Can't
just
look
trying
behind.
to read the future. Oh, never look behind. Yeah.
Ugh.
No. Nope.
Ugh. Do not look behind. There's some monsters behind you. You got to run from those psycho bitches. You just got to. Gots to.
What monster's chasing you right now?
I can't say. I can't say.
I'm just fucking.
Pending
I'm just
legality issues right now. I'm not allowed to say anything.
That's true. That's true. Didn't mean to put you on the spot.
No, it's good. This, like I said, this will be out in a few weeks. All this shit will be passed. That's
Yeah.
what's funny. I can listen to this in a few weeks, knowing what I was just going through with some BS, but knowing that was a few weeks ago and whatever. I'm past that shit now. When I listen to
100%.
this, when this comes out, I'm past that petty bullshit now. So whatever. I'm good now. I'm looking in the future right now.
To the future.
Hell yeah.
To the future, man. That's what it's about.
To the future. Well, man, thanks for being here.
I appreciate it.
I'm going to give you here this time to kind of pimp what you want to pimp. Say whatever the fuck you want to say. StreetWavve.
Yeah.
Whatever. Tell people how they can find you. Anything.
Yeah.
Just whatever you want, man.
Yeah. Well, where you can find us, I'll start off with that. On Instagram, and then and that's just StreetWavve with 2 V's. We thought at the time, I thought at the time it would be trendy to like do, since it's double E and street, do a double V and wave, and we just wrote it.
I like
the
it.
wave. And so that's where you can find like what we're doing, our content. I'm always saying what's good every morning, just like connecting with people, showing them that like we're here and that we're real. What we've got going on right now is just like we're just preparing for the short series, so you can check us out on all the platforms, on Apple, on Spotify.
Wherever you're listening to this,
Google
you'll
Play.
find his
Right?
stuff. We do the
Yeah.
same thing on Anchor.
Yeah, right, 100%. That's where we're always at. We got some events coming up in November. We got a big event in November. I don't want to talk too much about, but that's coming out soon. I'm
Let
really
me know,
excited.
and I'll pimp it out on my Instagram.
I appreciate
too.
that.
Oh,
Yeah, 100%. What I'd like to say is like appreciation to everyone that's been a part of StreetWavve, and we're really building on to the future. We've got the new seasons coming out for She Says. The ladies are hyped and ready for it. The first 2, I'll just go ahead and leak this. It's the State of the Union, She Says, part 1 and 2 episodes. So we're going to start off with that. The girls are going to hit the political realm like straight on. So I'm really excited about that. We record that actually next Sunday, release that in October, and then we get the season started. And then StreetWavve, we're just going to keep on doing StreetWavve. We've got big guests coming up. We've already recorded a few that are just going to be lined up to come out for the next couple months. Short series will still be going on. Yeah, man, we'll just be booking.
You got a show where people can come out and see you at one of these live shows anytime soon?
Yeah. Well,
be dope.
we're done for the summer. We want to really just focus on this month to get prepared for the fall. We've, like I said,
Do you have anything in the fall, like a live show prepared yet?
No.
Okay.
We'll come back actually next summer and do them again. But with
it's a summertime thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that just for what you guys want to do? Or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. If we feel the momentum of like we should do more, then like we'll definitely listen to the hear the people on the streets and like we'll put that in the play and see what happens.
Nice.
But for right now, that'll just get not put on the back burner, but like that'll be on our minds just to build up for the next year. And then we'll go very hard on the June and July and August shows for sure.
Wow.
It'll be a different. I think we'll be on a different level by then as well. So just in all different areas. So yeah, other than the show starting, yeah, just some really big projects coming out.
Fuck yeah.
You know, man.
Awesome.
Yeah, man.
Dude, I wish you nothing but just the biggest things in podcasting for you.
I appreciate it.
Like, I love seeing what you got going on.
Appreciate it.
And it's exciting to see. I want it to grow. I want you to be huge.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah.
Stay in touch, man. Let's fucking raise these ships.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think we definitely should.
All right.
Man.
Can I get a fist bump?
Oh, yeah. Always, bro.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you.
Thank you guys, everybody, for listening. Check out StreetWavve on Instagram. I'm Neandertalk Pod on Instagram. Boom, schlock, boom. We're done.
Boom. Done.